ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जयो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। With the blessings of Sri Sri Radha Govinda, Sri Sri Gaurnitai, and Srila Prabhupada, we are continuing our studies on Bhagavad Gita. Today is the fourth lesson, or day 4, second chapter, text number 12. We are going to start with. What we studied in the last class, that is, we have seen the principles of Varnashrama Dharma, and Arjuna, what reasons he has given for not fighting on the basis of Varnashrama Dharma. Then how in general principle Arjuna's dilemma and surrendering to Krishna are relevant for our own practice and practice of Krishna consciousness. This we have discussed. We have done the exercise for this. Now altogether we have 5 reasons. In the 4th chapter we had 4 reasons for not fighting, that is given by Arjuna, and in the 5th chapter, this second chapter beginning, Arjuna gives one more reason, that is indecision. I don't know whether to fight and kill my kinsmen or be defeated in their hands and make them happy by giving my life. So what is proper for me? I'm not able to understand. So that was the answer, or that is the reason Arjuna gives to Krishna. So finally, Arjuna decides not to fight, and he accepts Krishna as the spiritual master. So now Krishna has taken the spiritual master, the position of Krishna, spiritual master of Arjuna. Now Lord Krishna is going to defeat Arjuna's arguments one by one. All those arguments, whatever he has given in the 1st chapter and 2nd chapter, these arguments are properly defeated so that Arjuna can understand what is his duty and what he has to do. In the beginning, Lord Krishna gives Arjuna the knowledge of soul. What is soul? The beauty of this Vedic science is it will give us the knowledge of the soul. In the material world, whatever education system we have, they do not teach us about the existence of the soul or our real identity. So because of that, what happens? We will not be able to understand what is my position and why I am here, what is my goal of life. These things will not be answered by studying the material science. So this can be understood only by learning the Vedic science. So in Bhagavad Gita, the very first knowledge or very first thing that Arjuna received from Krishna is the knowledge of the soul. Now, when we make a phone call to someone, what is the first thing we do? Either their name should be there, that it has to be fed in our mobile phone so that we can come to know who is speaking. Or if it is an unknown number, first we will ask them. What question we ask them? Can anybody answer? If you are receiving an unknown call from your mobile phone, what question do you ask first?
May I know whom to
Yes,
May
yes.
I know whom I am talking to?
Yes, thank you. Yeah. So this is the first question we ask everyone. Whom I am speaking? If I don't know whom I am speaking, then why should I speak? And what are the data I am sharing with them? I don't know. So first we have to establish the identity. Now, if I don't know who am I, first of all, then what is the purpose of my life? It can't be answered. So that knowledge Arjuna is receiving from Krishna at the very first step. Arjuna, you are not this body. You are a spirit soul. So that is the first lesson every child has to learn. And when we learn this, we will have universal brotherhood. We will have peace everywhere. We can achieve Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. There will not be any difference. There is no difference between a black man or a white man. There is no difference between an animal or human being. Everyone will treat equally, each and every person. Now let us see what Sri Krishna speaks about this. So if you go to Bhagavad Gita, hope everyone has their Bhagavad Gita in their hands. Chapter 2, text 11. This is the first shloka that our Lord answers to Krishna, or the Lord starts speaking. The word Bhagavan, this explanation is done in your previous classes. The level 1 itself will tell you what is the word meaning of Bhagavan, the 6 kinds of opulences that are present with the Lord, why we call Lord as Bhagavan, and why Vyasadeva has written Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. All these things are explained, so I'm not going to discuss it once more. So we'll continue our discussion. So what Krishna speaks here? Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Ashocyananvashocastvam Prajnavadanscha bhashase Gatasun Agatasuncha Nanushocanti Pandita. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. So this is the jnana, what Arjuna receives. Na jayate mriyate vakadachan. For the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. The picture here at the right side, you can see there is a boatman and somebody is drowning in the water and he is showing the shirt. Can anybody explain this? What is happening here? You can raise your hand first. Yeah, Dipti Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, here it has been explained there is an analogy in which it is mentioned that we try instead of, this is the example of the dress of a drowning man and the drowning man himself. So what we try to do is we are trying to save the shirt or the dress of the person. But what we have to do is we have to save the person instead of saving the dress of the person. So this means that instead of saving we look after or take care of this body, but we really do not look after what is required for the soul. So the nourishment of the soul is required, and that is possible only when we serve the Lord. Because since we are eternally connected with Him, we will not be satisfied until and unless we serve Him.
Yes.
So this has been mentioned here, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. So here, the body is important because the soul is present inside. But we cannot neglect the presence of the soul. The soul is more important than the body. Now, Arjuna's lamentation is for the body, not for the soul. He is telling their body will be destroyed. So Krishna is speaking, a learned person, he will not lament either for living or for the dead. That means that the soul, the soul which is present within the body, it doesn't have death. It cannot be destroyed. Continuing further, Krishna speaks here. The next shloka here you can see. Nattvevaham jatunasam natvam neme janadhipa nachaiva na bhavishyama sarve vayam ataparam. Never there was a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. That means the soul is changing the body. Now our body has so many cells. The medical science says that the body is made of cells, and these cells are dying every day, every second, every minute. So many cells are dying and new cells are coming up. So the entire body, it will change its complete cells within a span of 7 years. That's what I heard from the medical science or the devotees. So within a span of 7 years, we completely have a new body. That means the 7 years before, what cells were present in my body, none of them are present now. That means every minute we are changing our body. And at the present moment, I have certain kind of body, and after some time, my body is going to change. The body is not growing, actually, it is changing, it is multiplying in cells, and new cells are coming. Then what is death? Death means you are leaving this present body and taking another body. So every minute, every second, we are changing our body, but it is not visible to us. It is happening in a very small quantity or in a very minute extent. But in the death, we completely give up this body because of the age or because of any difficulty for the soul to live in this body, and it will take up a new body. The soul was existing in previous life also in some other body. It may be human body or animal or bird, whatever. And in future also it will exist. There was no time when soul was not existing. It is eternally existing. And in future also it will continue to exist. There is no destruction for the soul. It will always be present. देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहांतर प्राप्तिर्धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति. So as the body changes, or as we have different cells in our body, what happens? The body size increases. So we have kaumara or yauvana or jara. That means we have childhood, we have youthhood, we have old age. Then the death will come. Tata dehantara prapti. Dehantara means changing the body. Dhiras tatra namuhyati. One who knows this fact, he will not get bewildered. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such change. Now, next continuation. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhada agama payino anitya stanti tikshasva bharata. O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perceptions, O sign of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. Why Krishna is speaking this here? So Arjuna may say that, so this is like Dhruvam Janma Mritasya, one who has taken birth, he has to die and he will take birth again. Now, if you say that the body is getting destroyed, the soul is eternal, but I am attached to the body itself. I am looking for the body. I need the body of the person. I am very much attached to it, so that's why I am feeling very unhappy. I can't destroy the body. I don't want to see the destruction of the body. So for that, Lord Krishna is telling this. Just like we have rainy season now, then after rain we have the winter, then again we have summer. Like that, the seasons are changing. But do we hate that season? No, we have to tolerate it. Similarly, matra sparshastu kaunteya. Matra means the sense objects. Shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha. Whatever 5 senses we have, the food for these 5 senses are called matras or tanmatra or matra. Whenever this matra or sense objects comes in contact with the senses, it will either give you sukha or it will give dukkha. Agama payino anitya. It keeps coming and it keeps going. You have to tolerate. There is no way you can avoid it. Tantitikshasva bharata. So similarly, the death is coming, and after death you will get another birth, and again there will be death. So this is unavoidable. You cannot escape from this. This is a cycle. Since you have taken birth, you have to die. And since you have died without clearing your karma, again you have to take birth based on your desires. So what is there to lament? Dhiras tatra namuhyati. Tantitikshasva bharata. You have to tolerate. You have to learn to tolerate. So what purport in Prabhupada says here, 2.18. From both viewpoints, there is no cause of lamentation, because the living entity as he is cannot be killed, nor can the material body be saved for any length of time or permanently protected. Now, if Arjuna says that I lament for the soul, or I don't want to see the destruction of the person, the real person. So what happens here? The real person I'm worried about means there is no death. The soul doesn't die. And if you say that the body is also important for me, the body also has to be saved. That means here the body has to die one day. Even if you try also, if you don't fight this war, it doesn't mean that those who are gathered here will not die at all. They are going to die at any point of time in future. So better let them die for a good cause. So this is a good cause, or this is the dharma yuddha, where whoever gives up their body here at this present, in the presence of the Lord, they all attain their spiritual body, or they will advance in their spiritual life, or they can get a higher position, or they can get a better living, so that their life will be perfected. Or else they will go back home and they will engage in their household activities, and one day they will die. So death cannot be avoided. Don't think that you just say, I'll not kill them so that they will always remain. No, that will not happen. Now coming to Karma Kanda section. So I will go to that shloka 31. Swadharmamapi chavekshya na vikampitum dharmyathi yuddha shreyonyat kshatriyasya na vidyate. So what Lord Krishna says here, considering your specific duty as a kshatriya, you should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles. And so there is no need for hesitation. Arjuna, you are a kshatriya. So you have to fight. There is no better engagement for you. This fighting will not be available for all the people. This fighting is available only for certain very pious kshatriya, or if you are very lucky to have this fighting. Otherwise, see, the war doesn't happen all the time. The war happens at certain time only. Every day there is no war. Even in India also there was no war for so many years. So many people gets recruited to army and they retired without fighting any war. Now, what is the benefit of fighting this war, this Mahabharata war? Here, the Lord himself is asking Arjuna to fight, and this is a Dharma Yuddha. And whoever lies down their life here, they will get at least heavenly planet. And if they win, they will enjoy the world. That means in both ways it is beneficiary for them. Yeah, I made Pradesh Prabhu as co-host. Netravati Mataji, can you see the PPT and the Veda base simultaneously when I'm changing it?
Yes, Prabhuji, clear.
Visible, no? Okay, thank you. So a Kshatriya's duty is to fight. So Arjuna has to fight. There is no way to escape. This is a Karma Kanda section where Krishna is speaking to Arjuna from 31 to 37. People will always speak of your infamy, and for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. What could be more painful for you? So this is 34 to 36, 34, 35, 36, you can see. Now Krishna told both ways it will be good for you. Either you fight and die and go to heaven, or you win the war and enjoy the kingdom. If you get killed or if you die in the battlefield, you will enjoy the heavenly planet, and if you win, you can enjoy the kingdom. Therefore, both ways it is giving you happiness or enjoyment. But if you don't do either of them, that means if you don't fight, there is no point in getting killed in the battlefield, or neither you can win the war. So what is remaining for you? You will be considered as a coward. People will think that bhayadranadu mansante tvam maharatha. People will think that, oh, this person has ran away from the battlefield because of fear. They don't think that Arjuna is very pious. Oh, he left the kingdom for us. No, Arjuna, this Duryodhana will not think like that. What he will think, Arjuna has left because he was afraid of the army. He is not able to fight. So this is the one which gives you very bad name. People will speak bad about you, or they will dishonor you. So better, Arjuna, you fight, and either of them will happen. Either you will win or you will get defeated. But both are good for you. Don't try to run away from this battlefield. What could be more painful than you? More painful than this for you? Just like a student who was scoring very good marks every time, and if he or she gets very less marks in the exam because of some negligence or some overconfidence, how much pain they feel. So this is a small example of an exam, but this war is a war in which the soldiers of the entire world is involved, and Arjuna has the opportunity to win the war because Krishna himself is the chariot driver and he is giving the instruction, and the victory is certain. We have already done in the first chapter, we have done the analysis how Arjuna is going to win the war. Sanjay also have told now Arjuna is definitely going to win because his party, even though they are small in number, they have all the power for winning the war, and there are so many problems in the Duryodhana's side. Now, if Arjuna doesn't fight this, and later if he comes to know that, oh, I could have done this, how much pain he will get. That is very difficult to bear. So better you fight, Arjuna. You don't run away from this battlefield. Next, Krishna is speaking about this Karma Kanda continuing in 232. You can see Swargadwaram Apavritam. Those who win this war, or those who, this text number 32, those who have the book can see the next sloka. Yatrichaya chopapannam swargadwaram apavritam sukhina kshatriya partha labhante yuddhamikusham. So, O Partha, happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come on sought, opening for them the doors of the heavenly planets. So, if you fight this, the heavenly planet is open for you. So, you decide whether you want to fight this war or you want to run away from the war. Continuing further, and if you, however, do not perform your religious duty of fighting, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties. So not only you will be in trouble, everyone will be in trouble, because people have come here thinking that, oh, we have Arjuna, we have such a great leader, such a great fighter. Now if you go back, then what will happen to all those people? What do they think? How can they continue to fight the war? So this is what Krishna is speaking to Arjuna. If he abandoned the battle, not only would he neglect his specific duty as a Kshatriya, but he would lose all his fame and good name, and thus prepare his royal road to hell. In other words, he would go to hell not by fighting, but by withdrawing from battle. So this is exactly opposite statement what Arjuna gave in the beginning, in the first chapter. Arjuna told, if I fight this war, there will be sin and I have to go to hell. Krishna is speaking, Arjuna, if you don't fight this war, you will go to hell, or if you have to, it is clearly told, the same words are used here. You will go to Narake Aniyatam Vaso. That is what Arjuna used the word. Now here Krishna is speaking in the same tone. He would go to hell not by fighting, but by withdrawing from battle. Because he is failing in performing his duty as the Kshatriya duty. Now there is a story that Prabhupada quotes in the classes. Can anyone read this? Can raise your hand. Shri Hari Priya Mataji.
Dandvat Pranam. The spirit of Kshatriya. Yashomanta Sena, either he conquers the battle or he lays down his body there dead. So the man who has come, he must be somebody pretender. So she refused to open the door. This is the spirit of Kshatriya. Bhagavad Gita 2.33 to 35, London, September 3, 1973. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So here Prabhupada is speaking that there was a king whose name was Yashwant Sena. He went for a fight, but from the fight he came back. Why he came back? He did not win the war, neither he died in the war. He came back because he got wounded. Now, coming back to his kingdom, the door was closed. the main door was closed, and he told the soldiers, inform the queen to open the door and tell her that Yashoman Sen has come back. The queen replies to the soldier that this can't be a Yashoman Sen. He must be some imposter or pretender. Because Yashwant Sena, either he will come winning the war, or his dead body will come. He will lie down his body there. He will not come back, just showing his back to the battle. So this was the spirit of Kshatriya in those days. So Yashwant Sena, either he conquers the battle or he lays down his body there dead. So whoever has come, he must be a pretender. So there is a very strong message here for the Kshatriya. So Arjuna also, Lord Krishna also speaking the same thing to Arjuna. Now coming to conclusion, the compassion that Arjuna was showing towards his kinsman, it is defeated by giving the knowledge. Arjuna, if you are compassionate for the soul, there is no death for the soul, so don't be compassionate. Arjuna, if you are compassionate for the body, this is the best way to give up the body. And body has to be given up. You can't keep it forever. Just like the senses, when it gets the sense object, there can be happiness or distress. And if just like the rainy season comes, next comes the winter, then comes summer, we have to tolerate it. There will be definitely pain. When you change the body, there is pain. So this jhana will remove the compassion, the false compassion towards the kinsman. And what is the real compassion? The compassion for the soul. Now people, if they lie down there, their body, anyhow they have to give up. The soul, it will get elevated spiritually. So Krishna defeats the first argument. The second argument, Arjuna told Krishna, there is no enjoyment. Arjuna is asking how you can say that there is no enjoyment. Where is the enjoyment if you run away from the battlefield? You can't have any enjoyment. There is no enjoyment either for you or for your people. Your people will say that Arjuna has ran away. He's a coward. Are you going to become happy by hearing all this blasphemy? No. And do you think you will not have any enjoyment if you fight this war? If you fight this war, there can be two results. Either you will die or you will win. So both ways that we have elaborately discussed this now. Both ways it is having its own benefit. That is called karma kanda. This is the karma kanda principle, because here karma kanda means we are using the Vedas or the knowledge of the spiritual science for our own enjoyment. Here, why Krishna is speaking karma kanda? Now Krishna is telling that Arjuna, if you win the war, you will go to heaven. But Arjuna is not meant for going to heaven. Going to heaven is not so great for the devotees. Devotees go back to Krishna or Krishna Loka or Goloka. This is speaking in the material point of view. That's why it's called as karma kanda. The material benefits of following dharma. We will go to heaven and we will enjoy there and come back and do yajna here, and you satisfy the demigods and again go to heaven and come back, like that. Going to heaven and coming back. This is karma kanda. I request anyone devoted to read this can raise their hand. Shri Priya Sampat Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare.
Both ways you have to fight. Krishna is trying to put Arjuna in a dilemma. This way or that way, you must have to fight. If you think that you are not in the bodily concept of life, then it is my order, you must fight. If you think that you are in the bodily concept of life, then you are a Kshatriya. You must fight. Both ways you have to fight. This is Krishna's conclusion. Bhagavad Gita 2.31, London, September 1, 1973. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare. So This is how Lord Krishna is speaking to Arjuna. Krishna is a perfect teacher. There is no way for Arjuna to escape. He has completely cornered Arjuna. Arjuna, you have to fight. Now Krishna is minimizing the karma kanda. You may say that the Vedas are speaking like this. Now what what Krishna is saying, Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadanti avipaschitaha vedavadarata partha nanadastiti vadinaha kamatmana swargapara janma karma falapradam kriya vishesha bahulam bhogaishwarya gatim prati. If you have the book, you can see it is text number 42. The Karmakanda section of the Vedas
Prabhuji, 42 to 43, Prabhuji.
Yeah, but there should be a shloka, no? 42. It's not showing the 42. Okay. Anyhow, I'll go back to. It is dash. Okay, that's why the address is different. 42 dash 43 attribute. It's together. No? That's why. Okay. So what the Vedas are saying, it is having pushpitam vacham. Pushpa means flower. Flowery language of the Vedas. Okay, let us see what is the translation here. Men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommend various fruitive activities for elevation to heavenly planets, resultant good birth, power, and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say that there is nothing more than this. The Vedas are meant for everyone. It will welcome everyone. It will not say you don't have anything to find here, please go out. No, Vedas will not say like that. You want anything you want, it is there in Veda. And most of the people, what they want a going to heavenly planet, enjoying the material opulences and having a good birth or power, control, all these things they want. So Vedas will give that. It is called as flower. Actual fruit is not available. In the plant, if you pluck the flower itself in the beginning, there won't be any fruit. The flower has to fructify and it has to give the fruit. If you enjoy the flower itself, how can you get the fruit? The real purpose of the Vedas, it will be discussed in the further shloka. In that we are not interested. We are only interested in the byproduct of the Vedas. Just like people, some of the people will recommend read Bhagavad Gita so that you will get good health and you will get good sleep in the night. That we also we can also experience. If we read Bhagavad Gita, if you don't get sleep, immediately the sleep will come. Or if you take a mala and start chanting, you'll get very good sleep. It doesn't take even 5 minutes to fall asleep. So that is not the way, or that is not the why it is meant for. So that is flowery language, or that is a side effect or the byproduct of Vedas. Now Arjuna, Krishna is minimizing it. Don't go for this byproduct. You go for the real product. What finally you get the fruit from the plant or the tree, that you have to accept. The real Vedaishta sarvair ahameva vedyaha. Vedantagrat Veda Videva Chaham. From the Vedas, you have to know who I am. Or this is talking about the Bhakti Yoga. Who is the Lord? That is the purpose of Veda. It is not that going to heaven or enjoying or getting some power to control others. That is not why Vedas are meant for. So Krishna is minimizing that. Men of small knowledge are attached to it. But if you are really intelligent, don't go for it. Why? The another reason is Trigunya Vishaya Veda. Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna. These Vedas are speaking about three guna. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. But in all the three, they are binding us. The Vedas deal mainly with the subject of the three modes of material nature. O Arjuna, become transcendental to these three modes. Definitely, the Sattva-guna is higher than other two, Rajoguna and Tamoguna, but that is also binding. A person who is in Sattva-guna, he'll become very happy and he'll become very knowledgeable. The knowledge raised to ego, and the happiness will give laziness. So laziness leads to Tamoguna, and the ego or you will get puffed up by having too much knowledge. Then it will go to Rajoguna. So from Sattva-guna, there is always a chance to drag oneself or fall down oneself from Sattva-guna to Rajoguna and Tamoguna. It is like binding a person with iron chain or some other silver chain or golden chain. What kind of chain you want to be bound with? Do you want iron chain or silver chain or golden chain? It doesn't matter what metal you use, it is all bondage. I want to be liberated. I just don't want to be bound at all. Neither at gold or silver or iron, it is all binding. Similarly, either you go for Sattva-guna, Rajoguna or Tamoguna, it is all binding. Of course, Sattva-guna is helping us. It is giving a good platform for realizing or coming to Krishna consciousness. But you don't get stuck there. You have to continue. The Karma Kanda. Okay, so this is what Arjuna is, Krishna is speaking about Karma Kanda. So everyone understood, I hope, what is Karma Kanda. Using the Veda, the instructions of the Veda for our personal benefit. This is condemned or minimized by Lord Krishna. Now we have a small exercise. Read Bhagavad Gita, text number 45-46, verses and purport, everything, and discuss the relevance of the Karma Kanda division of the Veda in the practice of Krishna consciousness. How are the practices of ISKCON authorized from Vedic point of view? So these are the questions. How much relevant this Karma Kanda division in practice of Krishna consciousness? This is one question. Second question is, how are the practices of ISKCON authorized from Vedic point of view? So now the time for discussion, we'll have a breakout room. There are 18 people, so I'll make 6 groups so that 3 people each. You have 5 minutes time. You can discuss thoroughly and list out all the points. Then you can we'll discuss. You can choose one leader among you so that he or she can present the points. Okay. Okay, the time starts now. I'm opening the rooms. Okay, just a minute. I made. Okay, fine, no problem.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can I join back the breakout room?
Mataji, I'm closing the group 1 second. I made a mistake. Actually, instead of making 6, I made 3 groups.
Okay, because I just log out from the break. I don't know how I just joined back here.
Yeah, just a minute. I'll come back. I'll takes 1 minute to close the book. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all the problem caused. Actually, I had to make 6 groups. I made 3 groups. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. So you will have 3 people to discuss. 6 people is too much to discuss within 5 minutes.
okay.
I'm very sorry. So we'll make the group now. I don't know how to increase the number without closing it. So I made it like this. So just a minute. So totally there are 6 groups. So 3 people each, 3 or sometimes 2 also. So I'm opening the rooms. Thank you. You have 5 minutes
Okay.
time.
Oh, thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Oh, Prabhuji, I couldn't join. Oh, okay.
Okay, we are closing the rooms in 1 minute. I hope everyone has returned to the room from the room. Yeah, you can raise your hand among the group leaders. You can keep your hands raised so that one by one you can take 2 minutes to explain your points. How the karma kanda is relevant in the practice of Krishna consciousness, and how ISKCON has authorized this in the Vedic point of view. Okay, 3 people have raised their hands. Shri Hari Priya Mataji, we can start.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
The relevance of karma kanda in practice of Krishna consciousness is by getting involved in Krishna consciousness, we get into the transcendental mode and we try to blend the karma kanda with the spirit of performing everything in the will of the God, or we associate it with Krishna. For example, I will say that we all, the Grahastha people or the people who are from this particular section who have joined the movement which is of
she dropped out.
Yeah. Maybe network problem.
Yes, Prabhuji, she has network problem. We can give to next
Hare
participant.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah, I'm so sorry that I have a network tripping because I am on 15th floor actually.
Oh. You're almost hitting the sky.
more close to Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, Prabhuji, like when we associate the karma kand, like we say that one of the sanskars as per the Vedic rituals is marriage. And when we involve it, like Srila Prabhupada has also mentioned that if you blend it with Krishna consciousness and do it with the purpose of producing a Krishna devotee progeny, then that particular thing becomes transcendental in that mode. So the karma kand is blended with Krishna consciousness, it becomes transcendental. Similarly, the practice of ISKCON authorized from Vedic point of view is, as there is an analogy which is mentioned that all the purposes which are served by small little wells all over, like one is used for washing, one well is used for cleaning or some other purposes, that entire purpose, the way it is resolved by using a one large reservoir of water. Similarly, in Kali Yuga, in the age of Kali, because every activity is in this material world contaminated by the modes of material nature. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and ISKCON follow that principle of chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So by simply chanting Harinam, all the contamination of the material world gets away, and we get involved with Sri Krishna, and everything becomes transcendental by associating it with Sri Krishna.
Yeah.
So that is what my Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mother. Hare Krishna. So karma kanda has some role in our life to play, and it will regulate our life. Just like we have to follow the rules of the society when we are living in the society, but we should know what is its real purpose. The analogy is given. If you know the purpose, the real purpose of the Vedas, then everything is included within that. Okay. Rakshita Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So, in 45th shloka, there is a purport saying Vedas deal almost with all the fruitive activities which elevate one to the transcendental plane. So that is dharma, artha, kama, moksha. We start with working and then financial development, and then we gratify all our senses and all our material desires, and then we go to moksha. That means after all the enjoyment, we finish up with all the material enjoyment, brahma jignasa, we start wondering why we are still here, and that is when we use whatever remaining part of our life to attain moksha, to go towards a spiritual realization. So this way what happens, this is karma kanda. Through karma kanda also we can go into the spiritual platform or Krishna consciousness. That is one thing, but that takes a lot of time. So we have to finish up with all the material enjoyment. But ISKCON says, like Mataji told, blending side by side through our the way we are living. Grihasthas can also go into spiritual consciousness. How? By involving Krishna in everything. So keeping Krishna in the center and then living our life. And then one thing ISKCON also says is, I mean, Krishna has also said all the purpose of all the Vedas is to know him only, right? So so it's like rivers. All the river water ultimately goes and reaches the sea. So there's no point in fulfilling our desires, material desires, one by one, and then going and fulfilling our soul's desire of reaching the Lord, because of the soul we are in this body, we have the body has the life. So by directly fulfilling the desire of the soul, our body's desires are also fulfilled. So that means you directly with one big reservoir of water, you can use that water for all the purposes instead of using buckets of water for each and other different purposes. And and also the three gunas, the Trigunya, the three modes of material nature. Yes, goodness is good, but like you said, it's like a golden rope binding us, but that is also bondage. So what ISKCON is saying is you have to raise to Suddha Sattva Guna. So that is a transcendental plane, so that there is no chances of falling down, and through that you can again reach Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Yeah, there is no end for sense gratification. You can enjoy for any long time, but you cannot completely satisfy the senses. It is not possible. Just like in the childhood, we had certain kind of desire. I want to have a balloon, I want a toy, and after that my desires are, it is not no more now. Now somebody asks me, do you want balloon? I'll not say yes. I'll say no, I don't want. Why you don't? What I should do with this balloon? My desire completely changed. That means it becomes meaningless. Sense gratification is meaningless when the time passes away. As we change our body, our desires are going to change. So if you don't satisfy those desires also, it will not have so much effect in our life. But what happens without by gratifying these senses in line with the Krishna consciousness, it will help us to go more nearer to Krishna. So as you have told, whatever desires we have to make it in line with the Krishna's serving of Lord Krishna, because we cannot give up everything at a time. It becomes very difficult for each and every person. So we have to dovetail it. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Radha Vallabhi Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. I think the previous speakers have already talked about it. So let me put 2-3 points. The purpose of Veda is to serve Krishna, because and Karmakand is important to help us to transcend to that position where we can understand Krishna. This material body is basically, when we are in the Karmakand there is a possibility of actions, reactions, because we are bound with these three gunas, Rajas, Tamas, and Sattva. And as Prabhuji, you talked about the three chains, silver, gold, and the iron chain. So one has to, um, you know, transcend. They are important from rules and regulations, but ultimately we will get entangled and will always be working for the material enjoyment. So in order to be close to Krishna, we need to serve. The purpose of Veda is to serve Krishna, so that is very important. Now, how ISKCON is authorized? Because in ISKCON we have been told, don't leave everything but make Krishna in the center. And while we are doing our karma kand, but that karma kand is for the pleasure of, not a karma kand, all the service we do for the pleasure of Krishna. And we have been told, chant and hear, Shravanam and Kirtanam. These are the two basic things to get associated, and we will get associated. That is the beginning point for the devotional service. And once we start that, we start beginning our journey for the transcendental life. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So in the royal road also, there can be accident. So even if we follow all the karma kanda sections perfectly, there is no guarantee that you can escape from the reactions, as Mataji told. There will be some reaction, just like the example of Nriga Maharaj. He has donated so many cows, but still he had to become a lizard in the next life. So karma kanda is always risky. But if we follow Krishna, if we take the holy name, then it is always beneficial. It will help us to elevate. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Deepti Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, on behalf of the team, I'm just sharing a few more points. Most of them are already discussed. So when we talk about these particular phrases and whatever has been discussed, the most important thing is we have to come to a transcendental stage wherein and how to achieve that. So that is the real purpose. And what Lord is trying to do is, Arjuna has given up everything. He has laid down his bow also. So Lord is trying to give him some kind of some kind of different reasons, like, okay, instead of thinking of you are trying to just go and live a secluded life, so at least try to work. Let's go one by one and see how karma kanda can help you first. So he is trying to basically elevate him step by step. He's telling him about all the various phases, like what are the various stages through which you can at least achieve that transcendental stage. So what happens is, the real purpose of doing all the karma kandas, ritualistic activities, and later, in case if we try to go to if we continue with these, following all the transcendental stages, the real purpose is to understand Krishna only, because the real purpose of the Vedas is to understand him, as it is mentioned in verse 15.15 also, that he is the compiler of the Vedanta philosophy, and he is the knower of all the Vedas. So he has come in the Shaktiavesh avatar of Ved Vyasji, and then we know how the Vedas have been formed. And not only that, it starts with Brahma Jigyasa. So this also we have understood. And why it happens is, the real purpose how ISKCON is helping us is basically because they help us to understand. In 15.15, it is also mentioned that God says, okay, I only give the remembrance, forgetfulness. So ISKCON is basically helping us to revive our forgetfulness thing, our memory, because we are mame vamcho, as we say, mame vamcho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manaha karma indriyani shashthani prakriti sthani karshati. Sorry. So we are struggling even with the mind, and I'm trying to learn the verses, Prabhuji. So he says that since we are the eternal part and parcel of the Lord, so we will only take pleasure once we will become transcendental. We are trying to achieve that position, and ISKCON is really helping us through the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is the initial stage through which we are starting, because it is helping in cleansing our heart, Cheto Darpan Martinam. So it's completely helping us to know how, being in this materialistic world, how can we ensure that we are trying to satisfy the Lord and seeking pleasure in that, and at the same time, how can we become tolerant and able to achieve in the dualities? Like with every kind of an action which we are going to do, there are multiple reactions, and we try to get some happiness or distress, and we really don't have to stick to it. So that is the key thing. We have to achieve, as Mataji also rightly mentioned, that we have to achieve that stage of Shuddha Sattva Gun. So ISKCON and Prabhupada and everybody here are really helping us, all the conditioned souls, in achieving that for us. Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, step by step, we have to use this Karma Kanda for elevating ourselves. And we should not forget the final goal. By following Karma Kanda, I may reach heaven. Okay, heaven is so nice. Why should I go further? No, that should not be happening. We should not get carried away by the byproducts. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Netravati Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, in the first Karma Kanda, like as it says in Vedanta philosophy also, unless the material body is there, we have to tolerate all the dualities. Here Krishna also says that Sthitoshna Sukha Dukkha Daha, wherever there is a changes as happiness and dualities come in, we have to offer all our results to Krishna and surrender, so that Krishna will take care and he can do wonders on that. And it says it as Brahma Jignasa. Arjuna also starts asking relevant questions in inquiry of Krishna and tries to learn about Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when it comes to how are the practices of ISKCON is authorized, Prabhuji, here in Vedanta philosophy, they are saying that the highest perfectional stage of it is to understand the Krishna as the highest one. And ISKCON, the International Society of Krishna Consciousness, means for that. Prabhupada is trying to awaken the Krishna consciousness in everyone, to make each and everyone realize that Krishna conscious should be awakened and we should go towards it. So, and every time chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra and practicing, that will definitely lead us to.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada has made this home for everyone, in which everyone can live peacefully and go back to Godhead. So we have to make use of this great home. It's a Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Entire world is one family. Thank you, Mataji. Muralidharan Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, after all I've spoken, I would just summarize it in 2 lines. The purpose of understanding Karma Kanda is to transcend, to know that Krishna is your friend, and everything you do needs to be centered around Krishna. Awaken your Krishna consciousness, chant, and move to a self-realized place where you know Krishna more closely.
Thank you, Prabhu. As it is told, Chodna nahi, jodna hai. You don't have to give up anything. Whatever you are doing, you continue to do that, but dovetail it in the service of the Lord. Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Netravati Mataji, can we have a kirtan now for 5 minutes?
Yes.
Yeah. Who will do the kirtan?
Harini Mataji. Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Please start, Mataji.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra, Jai Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra, Jai Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra, Jai Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra, Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagami, Nayana Patagami Bhavatu me, Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagami, Nayana Patagami Bhavatu me, Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagami, Nayana Patagami Bhavatu me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra, Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagami, Nayana Patagami Bhavatu me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Okay, we'll continue our discussion. I request anyone volunteer to read this. Please raise your hand. Sureshwar Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. The highest Vedantist. The best purpose of Vedanta philosophy is served by inoffensively chanting the holy name of the Lord. The highest Vedantist is the great soul who takes pleasure in chanting the holy name of the Lord. 2.46 purport. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So one who knows the Veda, one who claims that he knows Veda, he must know the importance of chanting Hare Krishna. Or in reverse, one who knows the importance of chanting Hare Krishna and one who practices it, he knows the entire Veda. So The Prabhupada is giving this in purport. So if you are a Vedantist, you should understand. Conclusion. See, if you don't know what is gold, it doesn't matter. You can listen to someone and you can identify it. This is gold. You don't have to go to lab and check it whether this is gold or not. Similarly, you don't have to read the entire Veda that is given by Vyasadeva. It is not possible to do in one lifetime. But if you take the essence of the Veda from an Acharya, who is a bona fide coming in the Guru Parampara, it is also as good as knowing the entire Veda. Because you got the essence, you got the science, you got the final conclusion. So it is always better to hear from the Guru and accept the right process. Just like if you go to an Ayurvedic doctor and he will tell you, you have this kind of disease and this is the medicine, and you have to go to forest, find out this kind of plants, this much quantity, and take it, and like this you have to prepare. He'll explain everything, and finally you have to take it. Now we don't know which medicine has to be taken and where to find it, where it is available, how to prepare it. Instead, someone will tell, oh, you have this problem and this is the medicine. It's already ready. I already prepared. I have brought everything and it is ready kept. You just mix it in milk and drink it. So which is better? Guru is doing that. The essence, the final conclusion of Veda, it is given by Guru. You just take it. Inoffensively, you chant every day and you can see the result. And by seeing the result, your confidence will increase. So better you take to that instead of trying yourself. Now we'll continue to the next session. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I'll go to Srila Prabhupada. Now, what is the difference between, okay, we'll take some questions. Dipti Sahu Mataji, do you have any question?
No, Prabhuji, no.
Okay, anybody has any question, you can raise your hand. In this till here, whatever doubts you had, whatever discussion we had, if you have any doubts, any questions, any clarification. I always forget to ask the question.
There is no question, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
We'll continue.
But there is one line which you said that was very beautiful. That we just focus on the flower, not the real fruit. You know, I mean, the flower. I mean, when we were talking about the flowery words of the Vedas, so that is very beautiful because He is. I mean, God is the real fruit.
Yes.
So that is where we have to really focus. So thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Muralidan Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Tanvi Mataji has been trying to get in. She got locked and then again we opened, again it got locked.
Oh.
How can we let her?
Actually, the room is locked, Prabhuji. I am not able to log in with my other phone.
Is it locked?
Yes,
yes, Prabhuji. It has been logged at 12:28 because a few devotees keep on moving and going. So that's why it's locked. So right now we are just unlocked.
Yeah, I unlocked it.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Waiting room is enabled. If some devotees are trying, then it can be shown in the waiting room, so that we can allow them. Okay.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, we'll quickly go to the next topic. So now, what is the difference between Karma Kanda and Karma Yoga? That is explained here. Any volunteers, please? Radha Vallavi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare.
Buddhi Yoga, Karma Yoga, Sankhya and Jnana. Thus far, I have described this knowledge to you through analytic study. Buddhi Yoga, Karma Yoga. Now listen as I explain it in terms of working without fruitive results. O son of Partha, when you act in such knowledge, you see you can free yourself from the bondage of works. Bhagavad Gita 2:39.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So now Krishna is increasing the bar. He is going one step ahead. Now Karma Kanda we have seen, and Karma Kanda leading to Krishna consciousnness is allowed, and Karma Kanda leading to only sense gratification is not allowed. It's okay. Somebody can take care of the waiting room. it's not allowed, or it is useless. Now Sankhya and Jnana are explained. Now continuing to the Karma Yoga. Now when the Karma Kanda becomes Karma Yoga, when we have desire for getting the result for our own sense gratification, then it becomes Karma Kanda. And when we give up the result of our activity for the satisfaction of the Lord Sri Krishna, then it becomes Karma Yoga. So that is the major difference between Karma Kanda and Karma Yoga. In Karma Kanda, since I am attached to the result, I get bondage. In Karma Yoga, since I am not attached to the result, I don't get bound. Now the beauty of this Karma Yoga is we do all the activities as done by any other materialist, but that materialist will get bounded, but the devotee doesn't get bound. Why? Because he is not attached to the result of his activity. Just like Lord Rama sent Anjaneya or Hanuman to Lanka, and Hanuman burned the entire Lanka, but there was no reaction for him. It is not that Hanuman got punished for burning Lanka. No, he has done it as a service to Lord Ram. He has no attachment to the result. So that is Karma Yoga. So now in our life also, you cannot completely give up karma. If we give up karma, how can we live? It is not possible. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtati akarma krit. Karyatehi havasha karma sarve prakriti jay gunai. We are bound by the three guna or three modes, and we have to do any one or the other activity in each and every moment of our life. So activity cannot be given up. Desires cannot be given up. It cannot be made zero, but it can be dovetailed to Krishna. Because if you don't dovetail this to Krishna, in service to Krishna, then it will bind us. Because every activity has an action. Activity means action, and it has a reaction. And this reaction, it will give either good or bad. So it will bind us. So that result, we are attached to it. Then again and again, you have to take birth. But if we give up the result in service to Krishna, which means Karma Yoga, which is also called as Buddhi Yoga, because you have to use your intelligence for this. You cannot do this without intelligence. A person who is intelligent and a person who is not intelligent both look same when they are doing any activity. But the intention will be different. We'll see, continue how it is elaborately. Anybody would like to read this? Deepa Rani Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare.
Buddhi yoga apply karma yoga. Sukha dukhe sama sukhe dukhe same समय कृत्वा लभला भाव जया जयाउ ततो युद्धाय युजस्व नैवं papam avapsyasi. Do thou fight for the sake of fighting, without considering happiness or distress, loss or gain, victory or defeat, and by so doing, you shall never incur sin. Bhagavad Gita 2.38.
Thank you. So this is called Karma Yoga. Earlier, Krishna told Arjuna, you fight. If you win, you go to heaven. If you lose, you will go to heaven. If you win, you will get the kingdom. But now Krishna is speaking something more. Arjuna, don't worry about heaven and kingdom. He just telling him to forget it. Don't worry whether you go to heaven or you get the kingdom. You just fight for the sake of fighting as a matter of duty. This is Karma Yoga. Earlier it was Karma Kanda. If you are preaching, if somebody is not ready to take up Krishna consciousness, then you can say, oh, if you do this, you will get this. If you do this, you will get this. Your health will improve. This is a way of preaching. Just somehow you bring them to temple. Somehow you make them start chanting. Let them start read Bhagavad Gita. And once they started, then you can say, oh, don't worry about these material benefits. Anyhow, you will get it. So this is preaching technique what Krishna is using here. In the beginning, he told Arjuna, if you lose, you'll go to heaven. Arjuna, if you win, you'll get kingdom. But now he is telling, see how he's changing. Arjuna, don't worry about heaven or kingdom. You just fight for the sake of fighting. Why we have to do this? Because if you think about the heaven, if you think of the kingdom, and if something goes wrong, you will be in distress. And again, you will get caught by the three modes. But if you are not attached, then you will not come back to this material life again. Tato yujjaya yujjasva naivam papam avapsasi. By doing this, you will not incur sin. Otherwise, you have to take the reaction. Can anybody read this? Sureshwar Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Buddhi Yoga or Karma Yoga. This is duty. One has to execute duty without any consideration of loss and gain. That is duty. Observing duty. Just see. You are Kshatriya. There is necessity of this fighting. So you should not consider whether you are gaining or losing. It is your duty to fight. If you execute your duty nicely, there is no question of sin. Bhagavad Gita 2.27 to 38, Los Angeles, December 11, 1968. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here, what Prabhupada is telling, don't worry about the result. Just fight for the sake of fighting. Now, this is the famous shloka of Bhagavad Gita. 2.1. So we can see this. Many people misunderstand this shloka, what is given here. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala hetubhur ma te sangostva karmani. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activity, and never be attached to not doing your duty. Now people may argue, Krishna is asking us to do all the duty and finally give up all the results. Is it fair? Why I should give up the result if I have done all the activity? Now we have to understand in what context this is spoken. If you really want to escape from this material bondage, or if you want to get liberated from this bondage, you have to understand to whom it belongs. Just like if you are planting a mango tree, if you put a mango plant, after 10 years you will get mango fruit. Now the person who has planted it, he may claim everything belongs to me, all the mangoes should belong to me, but it is not so. What is my contribution? I have taken the seed from somewhere which is not designed by me, and I have put it in the earth which is not designed by me, and the water that I provide is not created by me, and the sunlight, air, and all the ingredients required for the plant, it is all given by the nature. So what is my contribution? I put the seed and I have just taken care of it such that somebody will not come and destroy it, or some animal will not come and destroy the plant. That much I will get, definitely. But I cannot claim the 100% proprietorship over that plant. The karmanyeva adhikaraste. You have the right to perform activity, because you can't live without doing any activity. You have to perform any activity. Ma phaleshu kadachana. But don't think that you are the only person who can enjoy the phala. Or in other sense, don't get attached to this phala. If a businessman wants to start a business and he is completely disturbed, what will happen to the result, whether I will make a profit or not, then he will never be able to start the business. He should be ready, either it is profit or loss. He should be ready to take up both. He should don't think that you will always make profit, or don't think too much and don't fail in doing your activity. Anybody want to read this? Madhuri Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Here, the Lord says that you cannot stop your work. Neither you can enjoy the activities, the fruits of your activities. That is the work on spiritual plane. Bhagavad Gita 2.46-47, New York, March 28, 1966. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. This Bhagavad Gita is spoken to by Lord Krishna to his devotee. So if you want to understand Bhagavad Gita as it is spoken by Krishna to Arjuna, one should take up the plane of spiritual life. It is in the spiritual plane. The one who wants to advance in spiritual life should take this instruction. And one who wants to advance his material life, he may not be able to understand all the instructions that is given by Krishna. So Krishna is completely, he is directly giving the solution, means the solution for the root cause of our problem. Why we have bound here. He is not only trying to make some adjustments on that you can get some temporary happiness and forget the problems for some time. No, it is a permanent solution. You just take to this karma yoga, just give up the attachment to the result of your work, then you will always be happy. Anybody wants to like to read this? Sarita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam. Buddhi Yoga versus Karma Yoga. Yoga stha kuru karmani sangam tyatva dhananjaya siddhi asiddhyo samo bhutava samatvem yoga uchyate. Perform your duty equipoised, O Arjuna, abandoning all attachment to success or failure. Such equanimity is called yoga. Bhagavad Gita 2.48.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
This is not Buddhi Yoga versus Mataji. It is or, because we have Buddhi Yoga and Karma Yoga same, meaning is same. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So finally, Krishna is speaking. Perform your duty and be equipoised, Arjuna, and abandon the attachment to success or failure. So that this is called yoga. So yoga means connection to the Lord. And how you have to do? You have to be equipoised in both. Continuing further. Any volunteers? Radha Vallabi Mataji.
Buddhi Yoga or Buddhi Yoga / Karma Yoga. Lord Krishna now directly says that Arjuna should fight for the sake of fighting because he desires the battle. That is the indirect hint given by Krishna to Arjuna in this verse, 2.38 purport. Indirectly, Arjuna was advised to act in Krishna as Krishna told him, 2.48 purport.
Thank you, Mataji. So in life, we will not be able to understand each and every instructions of Guru and Krishna. So it is better to follow their instruction when we are in confusion, whether to take right or left, whether to do or not. Whatever the Guru says, whatever the spiritual master gives the instruction, as Prabhupada also told. When I went to America, I did not know what to do, whether to go left or right or why I come here. But I have only followed the instructions of my spiritual master. Whatever I have achieved here, it all goes to my spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So that is the mood in which the devotee does the activity. So we have completed 3 reasons. First one is compassion. Krishna gave the knowledge of soul. And enjoyment, sinful reaction, the Karma Kanda portion. Then Arjuna was fearful about sinful reaction. That is solved by Buddhi Yoga, Karma Yoga. Arjuna, just dovetail the result of your activity in service to the Lord, so that you will not have any sin. So in this regard, there are 2 important shloka. Okay, before that, we'll see the overview of 2nd chapter. Anybody wants to read? Who has not read till now? There are many people who are spectators, but they are not read, or they have not come anytime. Anybody likes to come up like that?
Prabhuji, myself.
Yeah. Okay, Prabhu. Yeah, sure.
Overview of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2. Srila Bhakti Vinoda Thakura has summarized the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita as being the contents of the whole text. In the Bhagavad Gita, the subject matters are Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. In the second chapter, Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga have been clearly discussed, and a glimpse of Bhakti Yoga has also been given as the contents of the complete text. 2.72 purpose, purport. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Right. Hare.
Hare.
Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he is a Srila Prabhupada's guru is Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. His guru is Srila Gaura Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. His guru is Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, who is a father of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That is Prabhupada's guru. So he has told here, this chapter is a summary of entire Bhagavad Gita. It has everything in it. Jnana, Karma, Jnana, Bhakti, everything is there. But Bhakti is just glimpse of Bhakti is given. But Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga are discussed very clearly, very elaborately in this second chapter. This is the second biggest chapter in the entire Bhagavad Gita. Now, overview of the second chapter, Arjuna is surrendering from text number 1 to 10. Then Jnana, that is the knowledge of the soul, from 11 to 30. Then Karma Kanda section is from 31 to 37. Buddhi Yoga or Karma Yoga is discussed from 38 to 53. Then finally, from 54 to 72, the Sthita Dhir Muni. That means now Arjuna heard that one should become a devotee. Giving up all the results in the service of the Lord is possible only for a devotee, otherwise not possible. Just like children serve the parents because they have love. Otherwise, why we should show love? We should give up our result to anybody. We are giving up the result of our activity to someone means we have some love for them. We have some relationship with them. And who has relationship with the Lord? Only the devotees. So we can conclude that here Arjuna has to become a devotee of the Lord. Then only he can give his result to the Lord. Then Arjuna asks, what are the characteristics of the devotee or this Sitadir Muni, one who is in the spiritual plane? So that will be answered in from 54 to 72. That is the last section of Bhagavad Gita. Now there is a pair exercise. So there are two questions. We'll make two groups. You can decide which group you want to join. Text number 40 and 41. Text number 40 says that Pratyavayo na vidyate, which means that there is no sinful reaction. One who is serving the Lord. Neha vikramana shosti pratyavayo na vidyate. Sulpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Second point is vyavasayatmika buddhi. That means one who has one-pointed attention in serving the Lord. Then Ekeha Kurunandana, Baushakahi Anantashta Buddhaya Avyavasayinam. Others will have so many goals in their life. So these are the 2 points. Read this verse and purport and discuss the significance of these 2 lines. So we'll have 2 groups here, breakout room. I'll give you, now it's already time. We have how much time more? 15 minutes. Okay, this is the last exercise. Then we'll conclude. We can take 2 minutes. You may discuss in the group, or you can discuss among you. You can just make a list of among within yourself, okay? Because there is no much time. 2 minutes you can take. The breakout rooms will start now. I'll make 2 groups. I'm opening the rooms. Okay, I'm going to close the rooms. Will be joining within 1 minute. Okay, Hare Krishna, welcome back. You have 1 minute time. Those who want to answer can answer. There is no need to repeat the points again and again. If you think that the point is covered, no need to repeat. So you can raise your hand. You can start discussing. It's just a sharing of thoughts, whatever you understood from this. Harini Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So verse 40 is actually about the characteristics of Buddhi Yoga. And verse 41 is these characteristics have further been explained. So in verse 40, it is said that there is no loss or diminution in this endeavor, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. So any activity that we do in Krishna consciousness is considered to be the highest transcendental quality of work. And what is meant by that? It is done only for the benefit of Krishna, without an expectation of sense gratification. So when we do activity in Krishna consciousness, what happens? This saves us from the greatest danger of life. And what is that greatest danger of life? It is to, again, glide down to a lower species of human form of life. Because we see, we have obtained this human form of life, and this human form of life is very, very rare. It is considered to be like a drop of water in a desert. So one can say, can we see actually a drop of water in a desert? No, we can't see that. It is very rare. Like that, this human form of life is very, very rare. And the greatest danger is we lose that human form of life and we glide down to lower species of life. So what happened? This Buddhi Yoga provide at least Shuddhi of human birth and higher elevation in the next life. So this is one unique quality of working Krishna consciousness. So that was about verse 40. And verse 41, to summarize it, it is said that how can we elevate ourselves is to get the association.
Mataji,
yeah.
Mataji, let the other group. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, you are telling something. Hare Krishna.
One is enough. One person, 1 point I told.
Okay.
First group, first point, second group, second point. You can discuss. Yeah, we'll give chance to others. Yeah, Sarita Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Here the Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhi. Prabhuji, this word has been repeated again in 2.44. It is there in 2.41. It is there again to the Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhi, where they try to tell that a person who's totally devoted towards the Lord, who is fixed in his mind, and who has a very firm determination that he doesn't get bewildered by other things, which is Vyavasaya Atmika, and Buddhi means a person who is totally concentrated mind and brain to the service of the Lord. Now that person is said to be like an equipoised, or a person who can progress a lot into the Krishna consciousness. And again that they say that Bhog Aishwarya Prasakta Nam in 2.44 also he says that Bhog Aishwarya Prasakta Nam Taya Aprataha Chetasam Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhi Samadho Na Vidhiyate. Now, in that case, also they are saying the same thing, that the person has to be just totally well determined, non-bewildered, no left right directions, go straight tubular vision, just to be concentrated and just be the total surrender to Lord. So that means that it's Sayatmika. Hare Krishna. That's my understanding.
Thank you. Just chant Hare Krishna and go back to Krishna.
God.
Just to add a point, Prabhuji. It shall be noted that while being focused and determined, be in the service, be under the guidance of a spiritual master who guides you through this process and ensures that you do not waver in falling into fruitive actions.
Yes, Rose.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Rakshita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, another addition. So Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. That means whatever, in case we are dovetailing all our activities to Krishna, then we are actually, there is no need for us to do any other activity. As in, we are not obligated to do anything else, because if Krishna is satisfied, everybody is satisfied. And how do we reach to that extent? Understanding that Krishna is everything, Vasudevam Sarvamiti, right? So everything belongs to him. And what are we? It's like we are paying rent to Krishna by living in his planet, material world, and he is the landlord. And how can we say this is mine when nothing belongs to us, right? So understanding Vasudevam Sarvamiti, we are actually getting a lot of benefits. Karma Yoga says we are giving our results to Krishna, but we are actually getting more than that. So we are getting liberated. We are getting Krishna Prem. We are not bound to any reactions. So what more do we need? I don't understand. So this is one of the benefit of Vyavasatmika Buddha.
Thank you. Hare. This is like a person in the prison house. We are giving him the key and do whatever you want. You can keep the key in your pocket and sit inside the prison house, or you can open the door and come out. So Krishna is giving the key to us, how to come out of the bondage. This is how you just give up. Just like a monkey, to catch the monkey, there is a way. You put some food items, that is dry fruits, in a small pot with a small neck. The monkey will come and put in his hand inside, and it will make a big fist like this. And the fist, when it becomes large, it will not come out. It got locked there. And it will not come out until he will give up the dry fruits which are there inside the pot. As soon as it gives up, it can easily come out. So similarly, as long as we are attached to the fruitive results, we are bound here. And when we give it up, we will be liberated, or we can come out of this. And giving up the fruits of result, it doesn't mean that you don't get the basic necessities of life. Krishna will give definitely more than what we needed. Krishna knows what we really need. If we ask Krishna for something, he will give that much. And if we don't ask him, he will give everything, whatever is needed. And he will not give what is harmful for us, even if we ask him. So that is, being a devotee, it is the best thing that we can achieve in our life. Sarita Mataji, you want to add something?
Prabhuji, I want a question if we'll have time. We can ask now? Or... Prabhuji, one thing only I want to ask, that if there is no, in the mind, there is no feeling that you're going to get any result, won't that make us a bit less ambitious? Will it not bring down that, okay, we are not bothered for the result, this much studying? If you have an exam, studying 8 hours is okay, 10 hours is okay. Whatever has to happen will happen. We don't want to bother for the result, or even for any other, in a profession or anywhere. Would it not make us less ambitious in that way?
If you go to text number 47 again, what the last line says there.
Yes.
The last line, Krishna told
Ma karma phale phala hetur bhurha ma te sango swat akarmanani.
Don't be akarmani by hearing all these things. So that is the instruction given by Krishna. So there are 4 motivations for the work. First one is fear. You can put somebody at the gunpoint and make him to work for you. That is out of fear. You are doing something. making somebody to work. Second one is the result. You can pay someone and get the work done. Third one is the duty bound. You can make him understand that this is your duty. You have to do this. Just like the soldiers are fighting, they are fighting. They are protecting the border. It is not just because of the salary that they are getting. They are giving their life. So they have that duty consciousness, dutifully doing. The higher than that is the love. Just like the mother serves the child without any expectation. So that can be considered as very close to the devotion that we have for Krishna. So the motivation, what kind of motivation we have? That's why the Karmakanda or the Varnashrama, everything is there. One who is doing work, in the beginning he may do it out of fear, or in the later stage he may do it out of result, expectation for result. And next he will understand it's my duty to serve the Lord. I have taken so much from the Lord and it's my duty. Only because I don't get the result, I should not stop it. Then if you come to the final stage, love, out of love we serve the Lord. Either I, just like finally Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells in the Shikshashtakam, Ashlishya vapadaratam pinashtamam adarshanan marmahatam karotuva yatha tathava vidadatu lampato matprananatastu sa eva naparaha. You can embrace me or you can make me broken hearted. I don't mind. You are the only Swami. You are the only Lord for me. This is the pure devotional service. Until we reach that level, we need to have some, we'll have some motivation for our work. And Mataji, this is exclusively for devotion, what we are discussing. In the material world,
not in the material world.
It will not happen. See, somebody asked, I think Prabhupada, somewhere it is asked. They came to temple and they saw brahmacharis. These brahmacharis, they joined the temple at the very early age. Until the last breath, they serve the Lord and they don't take a single rupees for salary. How is it possible? They are astonished. And they told, can you make our employees also like this? Of course, we pay them some little salary, doesn't matter, but we want them to work. Because our brahmacharis work from morning 3:30, they'll wake up and up to 9:30, 10 o'clock, they'll work continuously for the Lord. If this happens in the corporate world, then our nation will go somewhere. It is not possible because you can't give what they want. You can't satisfy the soul, because here the soul is being satisfied. Just by attending the Mangala Arati, just by attending the Guru Puja, we are getting so much of purification and we get so much of satisfaction. You can't get it even if you get so many crores of rupees of salary. Because there are so many people who don't know how to spend the money. And commit suicide also. Why did you commit suicide? Why did you thought of committing suicide? Because I don't have anything to do. I don't know what to do. So I committed suicide. Such people also there. So we can't just compare the love, the benefit, what we get out of this spirituality. You just can't compare this to the material benefit. Yes, we are not at that platform. So it is very difficult to understand.
It's difficult to understand. Thank you so much.
Hare.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Deepanani Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I just wanted to add one point here. After learning what is Vyavasayatmika Buddhi from our dear devotees and what is the meaning of what is form faith on God, and there is one more, we should have determination that we should never forget that we are souls. We are souls, and the knowledge of Vasudeva. Vasudeva, as Rakshita Mataji also told, as Vasudeva is the cause of all causes and as all in all. And one more thing what we need to add is the best practice of service to Krishna is service to Guru.
Yes.
That is the famous prayer for the spiritual master is Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado Yasya prasadanna gati kutopi dhyayam suta stuvam tasya Sastri sandhyam vande guru sri charanaravindam. So that is by satisfaction of the spiritual master, the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes satisfied, because the Guru knows the nature of the student and he can guide how to act in Krishna consciousness, and also one should act firmly and take instructions as their missions in their life.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. We can't go directly. We have to go through spiritual master. Spiritual master will introduce us to Krishna back.
Yes.
Thank you, man. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Muralidharan Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, just one point. This corporate world doesn't teach austerity.
Yeah.
And what the Swamijis as well as the Prabhus who be in the ashram, they can move around free pocket without any rupee in hand. Somebody will take care of them, somebody will feed them, somebody will take their travel, somebody. So someone asked that, how do they be so satisfied? Because everything is provided. It's not provided in cash and salary. It's provided in various buffets of benefits and the joy that you have, and a life of austerity is taught to you there.
Yes.
Do you agree? Yeah.
Krishna knows exactly what we need. You may get so much of salary, but you may not get time for eating also. Some people work for continuously so many hours. They don't have time for eating. What is the need of having all this money when they don't have time for enjoying it? But Krishna is directly giving that enjoyment which you need. He'll not give the money, then you use that money, spend it, then you find out what is real happiness. No, I'm just giving the ready food. You just have it. So Krishna is always taking care of. Just like if a frog is there inside a stone, Krishna keeps the water inside the stone itself, so that the frog will remain there. And Krishna can observe everything. Just like on the dark night, if there is a dark ant on the dark stone, Krishna can see that. We can't see. Krishna provides food for that also. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you for the point. Hare Krishna. So we'll come to the conclusion. It's already cross the 2 o'clock. So what are the objectives? We have seen the understanding part, presented a brief overview of Krishna's instructions on the jnana, and explained Krishna's responses to Arjuna's first 3 reasons for not fighting, and summary of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, as Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur has told, explained how the chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita summarizes the contents of the Gita. So this is about knowledge, and this is the evaluation. Evaluated the relevance of the Karma Kanda. We have done the group discussion, divisions of the Vedas in the practice of Krishna consciousness with reference to the verses and analogies from Bhagavad Gita. Then finally discuss the appropriate and inappropriate application of the phrase Karmani Eva Adhikaraste. So you have the duty to perform the activity, and you don't have the right on the result. It doesn't mean that you don't get the result, but you don't have, you should not claim your result. You'll get much more than that. Personal application, discuss significance of the terms Pratyavayona Vidyate and Vyavasayatmika Buddhi was the last point. Finally, concluding quote. May I request someone to read this? Okay, Giridhar Gopal.
So, yes.
Concluding quote. Bhogaishwarya Prasartanam Tyag Amrita Chetasham. This material advancement of civilization, very nice, very dazzling. Just like when we pass on the street of or road of your American cities. It looks so nice, so many lights and so many night illuminating signboards. But we should always remember that this nice situation is not permanent settlement. Any movement, I will have to give up everything. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. One more person. Yeah, Muralidharan Prabhu.
Vyavasayatmika buddhin samadhau na vidyate. So therefore, if one becomes attached to this false platform, so-called illuminating false platform, then his determination to go back to Godhead will not be very much intense.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we have come to the conclusion of this chapter. I thank all the devotees for being with us in this entire discussion. If there is any question, we can take up now. Shri Hari Priya Mataji.
Regarding the questions which you have given last time, I would want to understand the difference and the reference how to make between the personal application and the practical application point of view. And at the same time, there is one more query. Yeah.
Yeah, you continue. Complete your question. Yeah.
Prabhuji, there is one more query regarding the 11 questions for chapter 1 which you had given.
There are, okay, shall I speak?
So let me decide which answer to be given in a detailed fashion, like whether the background story has to be given, some history has to be told, or we have to be to the point. Will it depend upon the number of marks that will be associated with the question, or we simply have to do it in a descriptive fashion, all the questions irrespective of the 1 marker, 2 marker, 4 marker kind?
Now, Mataji, I have, Netravati Mataji has shared a PDF. In that, there are 2 questions for open book. That you have to answer in 650 to 700 words, and you have to type it. This has to be answered to the point, and you should not give any vague answer. Those 2 examples are there in the student handbook that you have to
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
refer. And reference how to give, you have to mention which sloka, which number, everything you have to mention. Everything is there, you explained there. So that is one point. And the last date for submission is next month 15th. It was not August 15th, by mistake I have put there. It is next June 15th you have to submit that. You can send to that mail ID which is there in the PDF itself. And regarding other one, closed book questions, you have to answer and keep it yourself. It is 1 word answer, 1 or 2 words answer. I think you are asking that only, no?
Yes, Prabhuji.
You have to answer all the 6 chapters questions of all the 6 chapters, because the exam is together. So those all questions along with the analogy, from that itself you will get questions. There is no question from outside for closed book. Closed book means it is an exam. These 2 questions are open book. You can see the book, you can hear the class, you can make all the research and analysis, whatever you want. Finally, you have to get a good essay. This is having 65% weightage of entire Bhakti Shastri. How good you are in understanding Prabhupada books and summarizing it, and you are presenting it. Okay. Any other question, Mataji?
Prabhuji, is there any specific way of identifying personal application and practical application for preaching application? Sorry.
Your personal life, you have to explain. If you like, if you would like to share, you can share that.
Okay.
Your own words.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any more questions? Harini Mataji.
Yes, Krishna Prabhuji, for the shloka memorization, do we need to remember the translation as well, or only the shloka?
Both, Mataji. Shloka and translation. Yeah. We will tell you when to give the shloka recitation. As till then, you can keep practicing that. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
And need not give all the shloka at a time. You can take few shlokas and answer. Maybe first 6 chapters you can give together. And if that is also difficult, you can take first 3 chapters together and then give the shloka recitation. That is fine. Okay. Any other questions?
Prabhuji, that we have to send audio or what? That is shloka.
We are thinking of making a video of every participant and uploading in a drive. That's how we do. Or else we have to come like this online in Zoom and answer or give the result. I'll update you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, if there are any questions, hope everyone has given their attendance. Muralidhan Prabhu, anybody pending? Or shall we?
Netravati Mataji, you have any feedback on the attendance? Because I didn't look at the page.
Today, very less number of participants are filled. Please click on the link and submit the attendance, please.
Yeah, I request all the participants to give the attendance. Any other announcements, Prabhuji, Mataji?
Prabhuji, we can stop the recording.